Jimmy Butler, to me, is going to be the top player available, not a free agent this offseason. Paul George is a free agent. There are going to be teams that are going to offer him over $200 million. The problem is Paul George can't stay healthy. Jimmy Butler is fairly healthy every single year, especially in the playoffs when he is as dominant as any player in basketball. The problem with Jimmy Butler is really when the Miami Heat got eliminated this past playoff, you had Jimmy Butler opening his mouth and throwing the New York Knicks as an organization under the bus, throwing other teams under the bus, saying that they're not any good and that if we played them or I played them, they would have been eliminated in 4 games. And then Pat Riley came out and stuck up, obviously, for the teams that he opened his mouth against and said that Jimmy shouldn't be speaking when he didn't even play in the playoffs and he didn't have much of a season this year because he only played a certain amount of games. Jimmy Butler has always been very outspoken. He's been an outspoken player. One of the reasons why it didn't work with the Timberwolves was because he was outspoken and he liked to hang out with other people's girlfriends. It didn't work out in Chicago at the end of everything because he wasn't getting along with certain players on that roster, and hence the reason why he was traded. So at the tail end of his career, out of every single roster, every single team he's played for, he's had problems with the organization. Now, the 76ers, he was there with the 76ers for a half a year. Did they win? No. Was he a big part of that team in 2009? Not really. 19, because they didn't really do anything in 2019. They didn't win nothing. So Jimmy Butler really didn't help out the talent that they had over there with Joel Embiid and that type of talent. They also had Ben Simmons there. Yep. They had a bunch of players there that everybody thought, hey, with the talent, the athletic talent that they have over there, when you add a Jimmy Butler, and look, it didn't work with Jimmy Butler. They brought James Harden. It didn't work over there with James Harden either. So they've had top-tier players, top offensive players, and top defensive players that were additions to play with Joel Embiid, and it never worked. So what would be the difference of bringing Jimmy Butler now? Jimmy Butler is 34 years old. He's not washed up, but how many years does he have left? Why would Jimmy want to leave this contract? He's making almost $50 million this coming season and $52 million for his option, his player option the year after. He wouldn't be getting that kind of money in a contract with any of these teams, including the 76ers. There's no way the 76ers are giving him $50 million. There's no way. Because they're paying Joel Embiid. They still have Harris under contract. They still have half those players under contract. There's no way. Now, yes, the 76ers have $65 million to spend. You think they're going to give him $65 million a year? There's no way. There's no way. They need a lot more than Jimmy Butler to win a championship. They're going to have to bring in Jimmy Butler and another player like DeMar DeRozan. They need a guy that's going to come off the bench and help them offensively and defensively off the bench, which they didn't have against the New York Knicks in the series that they lost against the Knicks. They need more talent on that roster. So let's say you bring in Jimmy Butler. You trade for Jimmy. Who are you trading for Jimmy Butler? Who are you trading? You're going to have to trade Harris. We all know Damian Lillard wants to go play in Miami. Right. So them moving Jimmy Butler would give them way to bring in a guy like Damian Lillard. But is Damian Lillard that much better than Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler's a playoff player. Damian Lillard's been proven not to be a playoff player. So that's the difference. Damian Lillard couldn't stay healthy this year with Milwaukee. They get eliminated in a first round against a team they should have beaten. That's the facts. They should have beaten Indiana. They were a better team than Indiana. Oh, yeah. But Giannis wasn't healthy. And Dame Lillard got hurt in that series. Dame Lillard is probably going to be looking elsewhere to another roster. He is not going back to Milwaukee. What does that open up for Milwaukee to trade Giannis? That's the question, because Giannis is still under contract. He signed a 3-year extension this past offseason. But now that Giannis realizes that Dame Lillard's not there, there's no more Drew Holiday. There's an old Chris Middleton. I mean, there's no their depth on their bench is horrible. Why would he stay there? Why would he stay in Milwaukee? Now, if they brought a Jimmy Butler to play with him, maybe he stays in Milwaukee. Maybe a swap over there with Dame Lillard for Jimmy Butler. That would make sense.
That's interesting, yeah.
That would make sense. You put Jimmy over there in Milwaukee, you get him out of Miami. Is that where Jimmy wants to play? Probably not. I would think that Jimmy wants to be in a big city. He either want to play for the 76ers or the Knicks. Or maybe the Lakers, if he can get on the Lakers. I can't see that Jimmy Butler would like to go and play in Milwaukee, in Beer Town with Giannis. I don't see it. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Dame Lillard is not signing an extension this offseason, no matter what Milwaukee gives him, because he knows he's not going to win there. He has a better chance to go and play in Miami, or he has a better chance of going somewhere else where the rosters are better and he has a better chance to be not the guy, the second or third guy to a roster that's really talented.